Namaste OMies. I'm Ewashkiw, and this is an Adventure Yoga 50-minute yoga for flexibility practice. Today we're going to work on the flexibility of your hamstrings, and we're going to do that by going inside. I'm going to help you drown out the noise of your day today, and instead go inside where you can listen to your heart and listen to your thoughts to discover that you already know what it is you want to become. Please unroll your mat, and I will meet you there in just a few seconds. Please take a comfortable seat and sit up tall. Close your eyes and take a few deeper breaths to welcome yourself here and to shed whatever it is you've been dealing with today. Today I want you to listen to yourself, to your inner voice. Listening to everyone else's opinion is something we do a lot. But listening to everyone else's opinion about your life can be very discouraging. It's important to not let others' judgments of your dreams, your goals, your desires for adventure to drown out your hope. Your inner voice is that spark, that passion that ignites you. Yoga helps us remember that that has value, and to stay connected to that inner voice, to reconnect to that inner voice. So today I want you to listen to yourself. Don't worry about what's happening in your day, what's happening in your relationships, what's happening in your work, or what's happening in the world. This practice is for you today. Listen to yourself and bring your hands together in front of your heart. If the microphone is picking up the birds, you can also listen to the birds. And it would be helpful if you listen to me as well. But I'm going to work to give you space to listen to yourself. Please join me to sing one Om to begin. Exhale. Inhale. Bow your chin to your heart. Look for your heart. Lower your hands to your lap. Lift your chin. Open your eyes. Please stand up and come into a wide leg forward fold. So you can stand at the top of your mat. Take your feet wider than your hips. Bend your knees. Fold forward and touch the ground. Relax your head. Relax your neck. Actually have your knees bent here, even if you can touch the ground with your legs straight. Instead, bend your knees. This just gives you a little bit of freedom into your hamstrings so that they're not having to strain as much, so we can start to feel a little more flexibility in our hamstrings. I know that you can't literally breathe into your butt, but breathe into your butt. Imagine that with your inhale, you can widen your butt and even into your lower back a little. And then keep one hand on the ground. Reach back and touch your butt and find the little bony bits at the bottom of your butt.
If your glutes, your butt muscles are tight here in the forward fold, it might be hard to feel them. What I'm asking you to find is your sit bones. So if you know what those are, that's easy for you, but if you don't, they're the little bony bits that stick out at the bottom of your pelvis. And then bring your hand down to the ground and try the other side. There is a little bony bit on both sides of your pelvis that sticks out. And why it sticks out is because your hamstring muscles, they go into your pelvis at that point. Don't even get me started on the anatomy of that. It's pretty crazy. Bring your hands both to the ground. We'll just be here for another moment. Bend your knees a little more. Then bring your feet to hip distance apart. Slide your hands back beside your feet. And step your right leg back and come into a lunge. Push down through your feet. Look forward and lift your torso. Bring your hands onto your waist to start. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward, and stretch your left knee forward over your ankle, and then stretch your arms up. Crescent lunge. Bend your right knee, not all the way to the ground, but sort of halfway. Then pull your left hip back again. Pull your right hip forward and square your hips. Stretch your left knee forward over your ankle, and then straighten your right leg. This is a nice opening for your hamstrings on your right side, opening for your hip flexors on your right side, while you're working your hamstrings on your left leg. To work your hamstrings in your front leg a little more, pull back with your left foot. Stretch up through your fingers, and breathe. And then bring your hands down to the ground. Bend your right knee a little, and step forward. Step your left leg back. Come up onto your fingertips. Stretch your right knee over your ankle, and look forward. Lunge. And then push down through your feet. Lift your torso up, bring your hands to your waist, and pause there. Stretch your right knee forward over your ankle, so your right shin is straight up and down, or close to that. Pull your right hip back, pull your left hip forward, and stretch your arms up. Crescent lunge. Bend your left knee. Pull back with your right hip. Pull forward with your left hip. Work to square your hips towards the front of your mat. Keep that, and then push and straighten your left leg. This is helping you find a little more length for your hamstrings, a little more opening for your hip flexors, all on your left side. Pull back with your right foot to engage your hamstrings in your right leg a little more. And breathe and smile. And bring your hands down to the ground. Bend your left knee and step your left leg forward. Forward fold. Uttanasana. Bend your knees. Walk your hands back a little. And sit down. Cross your legs. Sukhasana. Sit up tall. And just do a little twist to the right. Hold above your right knee with your left hand. Bring your left hand onto your lower back. Bring your right hand above your left knee. Take your right hand onto your lower back. We're only human, you know. Twist and open your shoulders. Stay in the twist, stretch your arms up. Come back to center. I'll get it right on this side. Twist to the left. Take your right hand above your left knee. Take your left hand onto your lower back. And twist. Move your shoulders back. Open your chest. Stay in the twist, stretch your arms up. And come back to center. And come back to Uttanasana. Forward fold. Walk your hands beside your feet and step your right leg back again. Come back into the lunge. Look forward. Step back to plank pose. Bring your hands down to the ground. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Push through your hands. Tone your belly. Forearm plank. Bring your right forearm down to the ground. Bring your left forearm down to the ground.
straighten your left arm, straighten your right arm, plank pose. And then we do that again on the other side. Bring your left forearm down, bring your right forearm down. Straighten your right arm, straighten your left arm. You can do this with your knees on the ground. Bring your right forearm to the ground, or your knees off the ground, left forearm to the ground. Straighten your right arm, straighten your left arm. Bring your left forearm to the ground, bring your right forearm to the ground. Straighten your left arm, straighten your right arm. 2 more, and we're going to hold the second one. So choose knees up or knees down. Bring your right forearm to the ground, bring your left forearm to the ground, forearm plank. Straighten your right arm, straighten your left arm. And this time we're going to hold in the forearm plank. Bring your left forearm to the ground, bring your right forearm to the ground, and walk your feet forward. Lift your butt up, like you're doing a forearm down dog, but generally we call this dolphin. Walk your feet in. Work to not shift your shoulders forward beyond your elbows, but have your shoulders over your elbows. Lift through your butt. If you can remember your sit bones, or if you know where those are, lift through your sit bones and walk your feet in a little more. You're in charge of how far, so listen to yourself. And when it's too much, just walk your feet out a little bit. If you can go in a little further, go in a little further, but work to keep your shoulders over your elbows. Walk your feet out. Place your left hand on the ground, straighten your left arm, straighten your right arm, step your right foot forward, lunge, and look forward. And then pigeon prep. Walk your right foot over to your left hand, slide your right hand forward, bring your left knee down to the ground. If you can do pigeon prep with your shin parallel to the ground, roll into the outer edge of your right foot, bring your right knee wide and down, and come into pigeon prep with shin parallel. But this is open levels, and that is definitely open hips. So if that's impossible, totally fine. That's impossible for most people. Slide your right foot back, point your right foot, bring the top of your right foot to the ground so that your shin isn't parallel to the top of the mat, but is at like a 45-degree angle or even more. Walk your left knee back and walk your hands forward and fold forward. So it's shin at an angle or ankle engaged, shin parallel to the front of your mat. But you're in charge. Listen to your body when it says which option it would like you to do, and do that. I like having my back toes tucked under for pigeon prep. I find it just helps me keep my left leg engaged and my left ankle straight. You can do what's right for you. You can place your left foot flat if that's how you're used to doing this, or if that's how you want to do this. But everybody, pull your left hip forward a little. So your left hip is drawing forward towards your right foot. Work to not just drop down onto your right hip and rest there. So instead, pull your right knee in towards your body slightly to engage your legs. And breathe. Now, I don't have my forehead on the ground just so you can keep hearing me, but you can bring your forehead to the ground here if you want. Listen to yourself. Got a little bit of time here to see how this makes you feel, to see what this brings up. Enjoy. Lift your head and chest. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Lift your right knee. Walk your right foot over to the left. So you're in a low lunge. Bring your hands on either side of your right foot. Lift your left knee. Step your left foot forward and step your right foot back. Lunge, left leg forward, right leg back. Then walk your left foot over to your right hand. Slide your left hand forward a little and roll onto the edge of your left foot.
And now you get to make a decision here. Is it shin parallel to the ground, or is it foot pointed, top of the foot to the ground, so you can get the front of your shin to the ground? Everybody bring your right knee down to the ground. And when you're ready, walk your hands forward and fold forward. I'm going to go back to the shin parallel because I really like that version. And again, I'm staying with my head off the ground here so that I can look towards the camera to give you some eye contact if you're watching your screen, and so that you can hear me clearly. But you can fold forward, unless what your body is asking you for is to not fold forward. Pull your right hip forward towards your left foot. So draw your right hip forward, even draw it down towards your mat a little bit, and help make sure you're not just sitting onto your left butt cheek. Draw your left knee in towards your hip, in towards the center of your body a little. Make your legs active here so that you can hear yourself more. The more active your body is, the more feedback it's going to give you. Listen for that feedback. Take a few breaths here. Pigeon prep. Lift your head and chest. Bring your hands to the ground, under your shoulders. Lift your left knee up and walk your left foot over to the left. Low lunge with your right knee on the ground. Bring your hands on the other side of your left foot. Step your left leg back. Bring your feet flat onto the ground. Bring the inner edges of your feet together. Take your right knee and wedge it in behind your left knee. Move your left foot over to the right. Move your right foot over to the left. Setting up our legs for Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So if you know what that is, you know what's coming. Walk your hands back. Your left knee will lift up here. Totally fine, that's what happens. And work to sit down between your feet. So if your butt is on your right foot, that's actually the one on the left side of your body, you can move it over to the left a little more, find a little more space for your hips. If your left hip is off the ground a lot, you might want to pause the video and go get a block or a book to prop up under your right hip to lift it up to help you square your hips in space a little bit. Look forward. Stretch your right arm up. Bend your elbow, place your hand between your shoulders. With your left hand, reach up and grab your right elbow. And then pull your right elbow over towards the center of your body, so over towards the left. Then push down with your left hand into your right elbow, so your right arm goes down into your shoulder joint a little more. If you can hook your head onto your right arm, do that here. Push with your right hand, push it onto your back so you can let go with your left. Turn your left palm forward, stretch your left arm out to your side, and then turn your left thumb forward. Keep going until your palm of your left hand faces the back. Now don't be in a rush. Stay with me here. Reach back with your left hand. Then reach back even more. Your left arm will get closer to your body a little bit here. That's what we want. Reach back more. And when you can reach back no more, bend your elbow. And if you can clasp your hands here, clasp your hands. If that's not available, you can just hold your shirt with your hands. So grab two different spots of your shirt, pull on it with your hands. Draw your right elbow down, draw your left elbow up, Gomukhasana. And if you'd like to take this a little further, you can fold forward and bring your chin to your knees, or tuck your chin so that your forehead comes to your knees. If you have folded forward, your right elbow might start to drop. So lift your right elbow away from the ground if you folded forward. Work to keep your right shoulder open. Lift through your chest, push down through your feet, stretch up through your spine. And release your hands. And change sides. Place your hands in front of your knees. Lean forward, push through your feet, lift your butt up so that your left knee comes down to the ground. And then untuck your right knee from behind your left and take your left knee behind your right. Move your right foot over to the left foot over to the right. Walk your hands back and sit down. And again, if you need a little more space, you can move your left foot, which is the one on the right side of your body, over to the right a little bit, so you have a little more space for your butt to sit down. And if your right hip is lifted, you might want to take that prop under your left hip. Stretch your left arm up, and bring your left arm onto your back, so your left hand onto your back. Hold your left elbow with your right hand, and then move your left elbow over to the right. If you can hook your head into your arm, do that. Push down with your right hand so your left arm moves down into your shoulder joint a little more. Push your left hand forward onto your back, and then release your right hand. Turn your palm back and reach back. Reach way, 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 way back. As far back as you can, and then bend your elbow. That's going to make it more accessible to hold your hands. And it doesn't matter if you can't hold your hands today, just hold your shirt. Push your head back into your left arm. Look forward. Gomukhasana. And again, you can stay here or fold forward. Push down through your feet. Lift through your chest. Stretch up through your spine. And listen to your body. Listen to what places in your body are asking for more or are like, oh, this is plenty. I don't need more. Release your hands. Walk your hands forward. Push through your feet to lift your butt up so your right knee comes to the ground. Walk your hands to the top of your mat and find your way into downward facing dog. You can start on all fours and tuck your toes under, lift your knees, and push your hips up and back. It's our first down dog, amazingly. So you can definitely practice this with bent knees. You don't have to, but I like to in my first down dog of my practice. Whatever version you're doing, lift through your sit bones, aka stick your butt up to the ceiling. Tip your butt up to the ceiling. Bring your ears in line with your upper arms and stretch out through your shoulders. And notice how you feel. Listen to your heart. Listen to your body in your downward facing dog. And everybody bend your knees, look forward, and walk forward. Bring your hands onto your waist, bend your knees a little, and stand up, and stand in Tadasana. Then turn to the right. Face the long edge of your mat, and then stand in the middle of your mat. You can do feet together or feet slightly separated, Tadasana. Bring your fingers in front of your chest. Stretch your elbows out to your sides, and then stretch your arms out to your sides. Bring your fingers in front of your chest. Bend your knees. Stretch your arms out to your sides. Step your left foot out to the left. Step your right foot out to the right. Have your ankles as wide as your wrists, feet parallel to the short edges of your mat. Then we're going back to Tadasana. Bring your fingers in front of your chest, bend your knees, jump Tadasana. Bring your fingers in front of your chest. Now we're going to jump wide. Bend your knees. Jump wide. Fun, right? Now find a setup so that your feet are wide, ankles as wide as your wrists. Bring your hands under your hips. Don't worry, we'll do a few more of those. Fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. Push down through your hands. And if you can fold forward so much that your elbows bend, hug your elbows in towards each other. Not so that they're coming right in, but so that they're in line with your wrists, so that your forearms are straight up and down rather than angled out to the side. Push through your feet. And think about the very bottom of your butt, your sit bones, and lift up through your sit bones. And this will help all of us get a little more of the hip flexion. Bend your knees. Relax your head. Lift through your sit bones. And push forward with your hands so that your chest moves back a little bit more. Then squeeze your legs straight. And feel the response from your body. Say hello to your hamstrings. Hello, hamstrings. Yoga is very, very serious. Sometimes we talk to our muscles. Place your hands on your hips. If to get here you want to bend your knees, just bend your knees. And then stand up. Stretch your arms out to your sides. Everybody bend your knees, and we're jumping to Tadasana. Bring your fingers in front of your chest and jump. Tadasana. Bring your fingers in front of your chest. Jump wide. Look at your right foot. Turn your right toes forward halfway. Turn your right heel in halfway. Two-stage turn. That's so that we get our heel lined up with the arch of our back foot, and we keep our right foot parallel to the short edge of our mat, and our left foot becomes parallel to the long edge of our mat. I've actually got a yoga subtle tips class on the Global Cool that you can watch. It's like a 2-minute video that talks about this a little bit more. For now, we're going to move into triangle, Trikonasana. Turn your palms to face the right edge of your mat. Reach forward, side bend to the left, and reach up through your right arm. Now, I can touch the ground here. That doesn't make me better than you. It just makes my arms long, and it makes my side bend maybe a little more of a side bend than yours is. If you can't reach the ground, that's fine. Hold your left leg. Reach up through your right arm. I actually do this quite a bit in my practice because it allows you to get the turn of your torso, which is part of your Trikonasana. But today I want to focus on your front leg. So push down through your left leg. Think about your left sit bone and pull it back and tuck it underneath you a little more. Then get a little more lift on the right side of your body. Trikonasana. Pull back through your left sit bone. Tuck it underneath you and lift through the right side of your body. You should start to feel this in maybe your inner thigh of your left leg. It's probably the innermost hamstring of your left leg. Push through your feet and come up. Turn your left heel out, turn your left toes in. Turn your right toes out, right heel in, two-stage turn. Turn your palms face the long edge of your mat, reach forward. And again, Trikonasana, this time to the right. If you can easily touch outside your right leg, do that. Or hold your right leg. Both are great options. Turn your chest up towards the ceiling. Stretch your left arm up. Triangle. Push through your right foot. Pull back through your right sit bone and tuck it underneath you so you can lift your left side a little more and get a little more engagement, opening, flexibility for your right hamstring. And listen. Push through your right foot and come up. Turn your right heel out, right toes in. Bring your fingers in front of your chest. That's right. Bend your knees a little. Jump. Tadasana. Bring your fingers in front of your chest. Bend your knees a little. Jump wide. Turn your right toes out. Turn your right heel in. Warrior two. Bend into your right knee. And breathe. Now to help engage your front leg, your hamstrings particularly, without moving your left foot, energetically pull it back. That's also going to help activate your inner right thigh. So it's going to fire up your left hamstrings, activate your inner right thigh. Even some of your right hamstrings will engage a little more. Push down to the outer edge of your right foot. Lift to the inner edge of your right arch. Make your right leg really strong. And look forward. Virabhadrasana 2. Stay here and experience the pose. Notice how it makes you feel. Straighten your front leg. Turn your left heel out. Left toes in. Turn your right toes out. Right heel in. And warrior two to the right. Bend into your right leg. And do all that good stuff here. Pull back with your right foot. Engage your right hamstrings. Push through the outer edge of your left foot. Lift the inner edge of your left arch. Really engage your left leg. Stretch your right knee forward over your ankle. And then experience warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right heel out, right toes in. Bring your fingers in front of your chest. Bend your knees. Jump. Tadasana. My legs are getting tired. That one wasn't as graceful, but that's okay. It's for me. It's my practice. And it's for you. It's your practice. Bring your fingers in front of your chest. This time, don't jump as wide. Bend your knees. Jump a little less wide. It's one of the nice things about this mat. I've got the Lifeform mat. It's got wide stance and it's got a slightly narrow stance marked into the etchings on it. It gives me good markers to jump to. It also has these angled marks. I don't know if you can see those on the camera. But now turn your right toes forward. I'm going to use that line as my guidance for where I want my foot to be. So I'm going to have my heel on the center line, my foot turned in about 45 degrees. Do the same thing on your leg. Right heel on the center line of your mat, whether there's a real line or not, and turn your right toes forward about 45 degrees. And then turn your left foot straight ahead so that it's on the center line of your mat as well. Bring your hands to your hips, turn and face your left leg. Bend into your left knee and stretch your arms up. Warrior one. You might find you need to lengthen your pose a little bit. Then breathe. You can look forward or bring your hands together and look up. Push through your right foot. Turn your right hip forward. Pull back with your left foot. That's super challenging here. But work to engage your hamstrings so you can bend into your left knee a little more. And then straighten your left leg. Stretch your hamstrings. To help stretch your left hamstrings, pull your left sit bone back. That'll help you square your hips a little more as well. Then fold forward. Parsvottanasana, or pyramid pose, we often call this. If you can fold over your leg, fold over your leg. Some of you might be more comfortable with your torso lifted. If you can touch the ground here, do. But if you can't, you can just hold your left leg. That's no problem. Hold your left leg. But really, push through your left foot. Pull your left sit bone back and underneath you so that you're stretching your left hamstrings. Just getting ourselves a little more open there. This is the last of our standing poses. But of course, we have to do it on the other side. But getting to the other side is really fun. Bend your left knee a little, lift your torso, stretch your arms up, but straighten your left leg again. And this comes from Mr. Iyengar from Light on Yoga. It's turn, turn, turn. So turn on your feet. Turn, 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 turn. So your left toes turn in, right foot turns out. Turn your torso. Now you're facing the back of your mat and bend into your right knee. Virabhadrasana 1. You can do hands apart, looking forward, or you can look up and bring your hands together. Push through your left foot and pull your left hip forward. Even though it's challenging, pull back with your right foot to bend into your right knee a little more. And feel your warrior 1. Listen to the birds. Listen to yourself. Straighten your right leg. Flex at your hip. Reach forward and fold forward. Or keep your torso lifted if that's what your body is asking you to do. You can hold your right leg or touch the ground. Parsvottanasana, intense side stretch. Really, I find this is an intense hamstring stretch, but that's part of my side, I guess, a little bit. Push down to your right foot and let's stretch our hamstrings and our front leg a little more. Pull your right sit bone back and underneath you. Push through your right foot. And then to deepen it, you can always fold a little deeper over your right leg if folding deeper over your right leg is available. Stay low, and we're going to go back to the wide leg forward fold. So walk your right hand inside your right foot, turn on your feet till they're parallel to the short edge of your mat. Take them a little wider and fold forward, back to the wide leg forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Bend your knees, lift up through your sit bones, then squeeze your legs straight. One of the great things about these sorts of steady, even practices is that there's so much to do. There's so much feedback from your body that it really does help you let go of the noise from other people, the judgment and the discouragement, I guess, that other people can place on us, that other people direct towards our goals, our adventures. It's really important that you listen to yourself, that you ask yourself questions. Where do I want to take this? Where do I want to take me? Right now, I'd like you to take your feet a little closer to each other, but just a little. Heel toe in a couple times. So you're still in a wide leg stance and fold forward again. You might not be able to fold forward as much as you could with the wider stance. That's fine. Do what you can do. All of these poses are here to help you practice listening to yourself, asking yourself where you want to go. It is your life. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer. So you're now in like a wide leg Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift through your sit bones, and then sit down. Bend your knees, heel toe your feet in a little if that helps, and sit down. Stretch your left leg out. Bring your right foot inside your left leg. Turn and face your left leg, and fold over your left leg. If you can keep your left leg straight and hold your left foot, do. But if you need to hold your left leg to keep your left leg straight, hold your left leg wherever you need to. Pull on it and fold over your left leg. Janu Shirshasana. Wherever you're holding your leg, pull on it. Stretch your spine long, stretch your left sit bone back. Straighten your left leg and breathe. Notice how this pose, Janu Shirshasana, makes you feel. Notice what your body is telling you. Lift your head and chest and sit up. Keep your left leg wide and take your right leg wide. You might need to make your left leg a little less wide. And then walk your butt back a little bit. So take your hands underneath your butt, pull the flesh back, even wiggle your butt back a little further. Place your hands on your mat, pull back a little with your hands so that you can tip your pelvis forward. And some of you will be able to just fold forward here. Good for you. That's not part of my practice. Engage your toes. Stretch your chest forward. So you may have seen that there are some things that I've been doing that are what you might consider an advanced version of the pose. But we all have what's appropriate for us. We're all different. We're all unique. And it's important that you listen to yourself for that very reason. Because what you can do is what you can do. I'm going to ask you to do things, but it's up to you to really listen to yourself, take the feedback from your heart and from your body, and go to where you're happy. Go to your happy place. For me, in Upavishta Konasana, or wide leg forward fold, this is my happy place. I like to keep my back straight, and I get plenty of work here. Then there are other people who the folding forward and bringing their chest down to the ground, they make it look easy. I'm not jealous of that. We do what's appropriate for us. It takes courage to follow your own path, to listen to your feedback, your intuition. But your heart and your intuition, they already know what you want to become. Lift your head and chest. Bend your left leg. Bring it inside your right leg. For Janu Shirshasana on the other side. Turn and face your right leg. Then fold forward and hold your right leg somewhere. I want you to keep your right leg straight, just like on the first side. So wherever you need to hold your leg to keep it straight, do that. If you can hold your foot, if you can go all the way there, keeping your right leg straight, do that. Stick your right sit bone back, stretch your head towards your right foot, and fold over your right leg. Really work your right leg straight. Keep your heel on the ground. Stretch your leg straight. To get more of that, pull on your leg, stretch your head towards your foot, and stretch your sit bone back. And listen to how this makes you feel. Lift your head and chest, and sit up. Bring both feet together. Baddha Konasana. Some of you will be able to get your hips quite close to your heels, so if you can do that, do that, hold your feet, sit up tall. Open up through your hips, stretch out through your knees. This is a passive flexion of your hamstrings. So your hamstrings are short here, your quads are getting a stretch here, but also your hip is getting a nice opening. To open it a little more, grab your big toes and open your feet a little like a book. So you can either do that holding your big toes, or some of you might want to take your thumbs to the pads of your feet and open those up. That can get you a little more hip opening. We've done a lot of hip flexion today, so it's nice to get open there. Stretch up through your spine. Just have a few more poses left. The next one is a nice counter to this. Lift your knees up. Come into child's pose. Swing your legs off to one side. Lift your butt. Take your knees wide. Sit back on your heels. Stretch your arms out and fold forward. And check in with your body and mind. Slide your hands back to your knees. Sit up. Bring your knees together. Lift your butt up. Move your feet over to the left. And bring your butt to the ground to the right. This probably happened when you did that shift, but you have your left foot or left ankle on top of your right foot. Take your left hand, it's your left. Take your left hand, hold your right knee, and then walk your right hand back a little bit more and twist to the right. Paradvajasana. Look over your right shoulder, move your right shoulder back. Stay in the twist and get a little neck stretch. Look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. And then walk your hands forward. Lift your hips up. Move your feet over to the right so that your right foot's on top of your left. Bring your left hip to the ground, hips over to the left. Take your right hand above your left knee. Walk your left hand back and twist to the left. Move your left shoulder back. Look over your left shoulder. Stay in the twist and look over your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder and then untwist. Look your hands back behind you. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Bend your knees and grab the outer edges of your feet. Bring your chest onto your legs. So have your knees bent enough that you can bring your chest to your legs and relax your head. Pull on your feet and stretch long through your spine. You can stay here, or if your body's like, yeah, I want to go a little further, slide your feet away from you a little more. And again, pull on your legs, lengthen through your spine. And again, stay here, or if your body's asking for a little more, walk your feet away from you more. Maybe even go to straight legs, Paschimottanasana. Pull on your legs, everyone. Lengthen through your spine. Lift your head and chest. Sit up. Walk your hands back behind you. Bend your knees. Place your feet on the ground. Shift your hips towards your feet a little. And lift your hips up. Reverse table. Lift through your chest. Lift through your hips to stretch the front of your body. And then Shavasana. Bring your butt down. Stretch your legs out, feet wide. Walk your hands back. Walk your elbows down. Turn your palms up. Close your eyes. And rest. We'll just be here for a couple of minutes. Relax your body. Release your breath and your mind. Release your body into your mat. Deepen your breath. Move your fingers. Move your toes. Stretch your arms and legs. Bend your knees. And gently turn onto your side. Pause there for just a moment so that you can see yourself as you were before you were born, as you are now, full of potential, full of possibility. Press yourself up to seated. With your eyes closed, sit up tall. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Where you take your practice, where you take your life is a choice. It's your choice. Thanks for choosing this class today. Namaste.
Thanks so much for joining me for class today. If you'd like to wrap up your class with a short meditation, there's one right there I recommend. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, you can just click on my picture over there to subscribe. Thanks so much, and I will see you on the mat really soon. Namaste, Omies.